that.
I know. I like the I like it. It's like, do we have to start? It's fine. Today's gonna be relatively easy. I told Sharon yesterday. We're gonna do a lot of breathing stuff to start with. We're gonna try and loosen up the whole thoracic cavity. I want to get your ribs to move a little bit more. I want to get those shoulder blades to move a little bit more. So we do some stuff. If you do have your lacrosse ball, you're gonna want that for your shoulders later on. We're not doing it on our feet. That's the good news. We're gonna start on your mat. Feet are gonna be flat on the ground. You're gonna be on your backs. Bend those knees. Get cozy. Don't fall asleep. Don't get pounced on by a dog. I know how that goes all too well. I tried to foam roll yesterday, and Rocky decided to sit on my chest. No, not O. This wasn't funny. So arms are right by your sides, belly button's in. I'm just laying back. What I want you to do, bend those knees, Audrey. Yeah. What I want you to do is, as you're back here, I want you to focus on pulling those shoulder blades down. And when you inhale, I want you to inhale, press the ribs up and out and away. Exhale, squeeze those ribs right back in. We've done this before. You can take your hands and place them on your ribs so you can get more of a feeling of that movement. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, fill it up. Exhale, squeeze those shoulder blades down and back. Normally I tell you not to worry about where those shoulder blades go, but I want those down and back. Open up those ribs. Keep that belly button in just a little bit, so it's not a full scoop. Just a little bit of tension there. Inhale, get those ribs to move. Exhale it all out. Good. We're here for a couple more seconds. You want to get those ribs feeling like they're moving. You may notice your upper abdominals feel like they're stretching. You may notice the bottom of your rib cage feels like it's stretching, and that's exactly what we want. You may just notice the space between your shoulder blades feels like it wants to cramp, and that means those muscles back there are way too contracted. So we want to work on that as well. Got 10 more seconds of breathing like this. And now we're going to add a little more force to it. So what I want you to do is I want you to breathe in and out a little bit faster, but really focus on pressing the ribs out and then forcing all the air out. Suck it all in, force it all out. Keep going. We got 30 seconds here. Sometimes what will happen is as you add a little bit more force, those muscles will start sliding a little bit more. You should start to feel almost a little bit of burn in those muscles. You may notice you start to feel a little bit lightheaded. That's fine. You're already on the ground, so you can't pass out and hit your head. It's a huge win. That's why we don't do this standing, if you're wondering. We really focus on filling those lungs up and snapping those ribs together so you get all that air out. Right back in, all the way out. 5, 4, 3, 2. Pull those knees into your chest. Reach down, grab those shins, so give them a nice little hug. Same breathing movements. We're just going to use the thighs to block the lungs, the diaphragm from going down, so it has to push into the low back. So inhale, super deep, 30 seconds here. Exhale, squeeze those ribs together. As you inhale, for that low back stretching out. Exhale, squeeze it in deeper. Inhale. Exhale, go at your pace. You got 15 more seconds. Get that air in there, get those lungs full. Last 5 seconds. Actually, lower those feet down. Cross your right leg over your left knee. Good. From here, I want you to reach down, grab your left thigh with both hands. Pull that thigh into your chest. Good. So reach through that hole. So you're going to reach through, yep, and then grab the back of your thigh. Yes. And then pull it into you. What I want you to do is as you inhale, I want you to try and spread out the rib cage as much as possible. As you exhale, pull it into your chest as much as you can. Hold it there, and then don't release it. So we're going to do our breathing in that position. So inhale nice deep. Exhale, pull it in and hold. And then just keep breathing, 30 seconds. You should feel that glute release. You're going to hold it in as tight as you can. And breathe. Your right glute should feel like it's stretching out. Should feel like you're making some space in your low back. Now, 10 seconds to go. Keep breathing. Keep moving as best you can. I got nothing. Oh, morning. And switch your legs. Good. So go ahead, pull that right leg in. Inhale, nice and deep. Exhale, bring that leg into your thigh. All right, bring your hands, thigh into your chest. Good Lord, I've lost myself. And inhale, breathe here, 30 seconds. Nice and deep as best you can. Should feel that left hip stretching out now. As you inhale, you should feel the space above your right glute kind of stretching out. That lower part of your right oblique maybe stretching out. If you have a tight low back, you should definitely feel that moving a little bit. As I said, this will probably be one of our quote unquote easier workouts as we go. Keep holding, keep breathing. Morning. You got 3 more seconds here. And release that leg. Recross your legs to the other side. You guys will see that in the video later. So your right leg is going back over your left knee. Then we'll drop our feet to the left side. Good. Make sure before we get in this position, you got your cross ball by your hand, because we're going to need that in a second. Yeah. So just make sure it's close by. You don't necessarily need it anywhere right now. You're going to drop those legs to the left. We're going to hang out here for a full minute. What I want you to do is focus on that left oblique. So that left oblique is going to contract every time you exhale. Your right oblique is going to relax. You're going to lift the right side of your ribs. Not really lift them, I'm exaggerating for the video. But inhale into the right side of your ribs. Exhale, hold that oblique tight. What we want to do is we want to see that right side keep stretching. We want to see that right glute keep stretching out. Keep breathing. There's a lot of folks that should be going on here. A lot of what we do in movement, and this is kind of what we talked about yesterday too, is we get very hardwired to move how we think we need to be moving, and we don't think about how we should be moving. Right now, you're thinking about how you should be breathing, how you should be stretching. You're more aware of what's going on in your body, which means we can correct the imbalances because you're aware that there is an imbalance there. Go ahead, take that lacrosse ball, place it underneath that right glute, and then you're going to roll back towards that side. Yep. You'll find that spot. Good. Once you find that spot, try and find it's a 6, a 7, maybe an 8. Ideally, it's not higher than that. If it is higher than that, that's fine. We're going to hang out right here. So that same breathing, don't worry about contracting your obliques or anything like that. Just focus on those ribs. Get them to move out. Get them to move in. Get them to move out. Get them to move in. Good. As you breathe, you're telling your body it's okay to relax. You're telling your body it's okay to release that knot that's in your glute. Everyone's got one. The more sitting that we've been doing since we locked into the routine, the more likely it is to be a very obnoxious knot. So let's try and break that up as much as we can. Good. 20 more seconds to go. Ideally, you should be feeling a release. It should feel the most pleasant at this point. There's a lot of shits I'm throwing out there. In your head, there may be cursing, and that's fine as long as it stays in your head, but you're also muted, so there's that. If you're watching this later on, I definitely can't hear you. And go ahead, take that ball out from underneath your hands, recross your legs, so go to the other side, and then drop those legs over to the right side. Good. Belly button's in, and you're squeezing that right oblique this time. Left side is opening up as much as you can. You're going to notice, and you've heard me say it 1,000 times before, one side is tighter than the other. Now, as you start identifying which side is tighter, revisit that side later. So sometime later today, get back to this position if it's on this side or the other position. You need to stretch the tight side more frequently than the non-tight side. I know it sounds counterintuitive because you're always told, stretch this, stretch that. Don't stretch it all. Stretch the side that's tight, but before you stretch the side that's loose. 30 more seconds, keep breathing. Right oblique contracts. Left side of your lungs open up. And twist it deeper. Keep holding that twist. Ideally, your glute should feel like it's relaxing. Your oblique should feel like it's stretching. The muscles along your rib cage should feel better. If you guys are sore from this, it'll be everything down your spinal column and through your ribs. But I don't anticipate anyone being too sore. Go ahead and take that lacrosse ball, place it with your left butt cheek, and roll towards the left. So as you want to try and find that 6, 7, 8, nothing too crazy. We're going to hang out here, breathing. Remember, the goal is not to breathe in any way, shape, or form. Just get those ribs to flare and contract. So that is your primary goal here. Think about those ribs. You're in pain. I get that. Think about those ribs moving up and down. Think about getting those moving as best you can, squeezing in and relaxing. So the big thing with these muscles in here, if the muscles through your ribs are overly contracted, we can't make them tighter, which means you lose rigidity in your spine when you're doing any heavy lifting. So a muscle that's contracted can't get contracted anymore, and eventually it'll just give out, and then when it does, something will either pull, worst case scenario, tear. And that is definitely not something we want to deal with. No one wants to come out of quarantine and then tear a muscle when they start lifting heavy weights. That would be bad. Go ahead, take that lacrosse ball, place it off to the side for right now. Uncross your legs. Bring both knees into your chest. Arms are by your side. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Look towards that belly button. And beat those arms. We inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Extend those legs to a good working level. As you beat the arms, you keep your pace. Really think about squeezing your glutes. So your feet should be wedged out. Your butt should be tight. Inner thigh should be tight. Belly button should be in. So you go to where you can go. You keep beating those arms. Keep moving. Now the trick is to keep breathing. Keep those ribs moving. Keep that belly button in. Move your body in 2 individual pieces. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2. Pull those knees back into your chest. Give those shins a little bit of a hug. Stretch that low back a little bit. Don't worry about your breathing right now. Just stretch. Take your left hand to your right knee. Take your right hand to your right ankle. Boom, nailed it. Left leg goes out nice and straight. Belly button's in your spine. Eyes are on your belly button. And switch. 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 And switch. Good. Both knees come into your chest. We're going to shoot both legs out to a 45-degree angle. Both arms go 45 degrees overhead. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Pull it in. Out. And hold for 3, 2, 1. Pull it in. Out. And hold for 3, 2, 1. Pull it in. Out. And hold for 3, 2, 1. Pull it in. Out. And hold for 3, 2, 1. Pull it in. Last one. Out. And hold for 3, 2, 1. Both hands stacked behind your head. Both heels go straight to the ceiling. Belly button's into your spine. I want you to flex those quads as tightly as you can. Pull those toes back towards you. Think about our dead bug position. So relax your head and neck back. Squeeze your shoulder blades back. What I want you to think about is trying to pinch the floor with your shoulders, trying to drive your belly button into your spine. We're just hanging out right here. This is it. This is our spot. Keep those toes pointed down towards you. Squeeze the inner thighs. Try and squeeze the heels and the glutes as tightly as you can. Just hanging out, having a good old time, using those quads, trying to stretch out those hamstrings. We're going to lower that right leg down towards the floor and switch. Good. Switch. Perfect. Keep going. We're going for time on this one. It's 30 seconds. Make sure that belly button stays in. It's not for speed. So stay slow, stay smooth. Low back shouldn't lift. Belly button should be pressed right into the floor. That quad should be flexed at the top of the movement. So you're stretching out that hamstring. Yes. We're doing some good work here. We're getting stuff moving. It probably hasn't moved in a little bit. Maybe since last week. Who knows? I'm not going to say you guys don't stretch on your own, but you never know. Just going to go by what I've seen in the past. Assume it's the same. 3, 2, 1. Bring both legs together. Both heels still to the ceiling. Belly button still into your spine. Very small movements. So you're going to lower those heels down towards the ground and lift. Keep it small. So I want it to stay small because I want you to really focus on pulling those elbows back into the mat and belly button in. So as long as your whole spine is in contact with the mat, you go as low as you can. If you can't go low, don't go low. Chris, take your hands out from underneath your butt. You want to go small movement. So we want to use your abdominals to keep that in there. Yes, I'm always watching, just so you know. It's creepy, but it's my job. If your low back is hurting, go ahead, everyone take a break for a second. If your low back is bothering you in that position, your hamstrings are really, really tight because we can't get those legs up high. So we want to work on our hamstrings, and that's where that first movement came from. We were flexing our quads to basically pull that hamstring and make it longer. So if that low back's hurting, it's okay to stay in a high position and pump because we want all the movement in the abs, not the hip flexors. Hip flexors make your low back hurt. Abs make your abs look pretty. Both legs go back to the sky. Elbows are out nice and wide. Belly button's in. And we're back to our lower and lift. We got 5 more. Lower, lift. Good. 5. Yes. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Hands stay behind the head. Right knee comes into your chest. Belly button into your spine. We're going to crisscross. So you're going to cross left armpit to right knee. Slowly hold for 3, 2, 1. Switch. 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 They're doing the crisscross. 3, 2, 1. Switch. 3, 2, 1. And relax. There I have a pause in between. That's what I'm counting out. Yeah. Pat says hi. Candace says hi. Legs go out nice and long on the mat. I'm going to roll all the way up to our seated position. Yeah. Kind of. There we go. All right. Sit up nice and tall. Hands are going to come onto your ribs. So we're sitting in that tall position. Legs are as flexed as possible. If you want to put something underneath your butt, if you feel like there's a lot of strain on those hamstrings, by all means, get a pillow, get a towel, wedge it under there, that's fine. What I want you to do, we're focusing on a breathing different position. Squeeze your glutes, so I want you to actually have your butt tight underneath your body. And then from here, we're going to inhale, fill those ribs up with air. Exhale, squeeze it all out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Squeeze your shoulder blades down and back. So if your shoulders and traps are trying to come up here while you're breathing, we don't want that. That's a defensive position. That tells us that we're getting ready for fight or flight. We want this. Get down there. We are not in any way, shape, or form being attacked right now. There you go, nice and tall. If you are being attacked right now, that's not my problem. You probably should be doing Pilates. Fend off the attacker. It's a much better choice. 5 more seconds here. Good. Using that same breath, take those arms out nice and long. Flex those toes back towards you. Inhale, grow tall. And instead of trying to round forward, what I want you to do is exhale, ribs to pelvic bone, round down as best you can. Inhale, back center. So arms are out. Exhale, round forward. Inhale, up. So use that breath to pull you down. Inhale and exhale. Perfect. Inhale, exhale. If you can, flex those quads as tight as possible. Still get those hamstrings to stretch. So as we've said before, as your body is breathing appropriately, if you are allowing a muscle to stretch, it will relax faster. Keep breathing as best you can. Abs are in tight. Round forward. Inhale up. Yes. Exhale, round forward. Inhale up. Last time. Exhale, round forward as far as you can and hold. Get those hamstrings to stretch. Yes. Quads are flexed. Toes are flexed back towards you. If this hurts, I do apologize, but we do have to loosen up those hamstrings. Most of our back problems come from tight hip flexors and tight hamstrings. So hopefully we can eliminate those two things. No one has a back problem. 10 more seconds. And inhale all the way up, roll back to your back, grab that lacrosse ball. This is everyone's least favorite part. Lacrosse ball is going somewhere behind that shoulder blade, between your shoulder blade and your spine. There's no ideal spot, I know. But here's the catch. Here's the interesting tell of how bad this is going to suck. If you notice that as you were breathing, your shoulders were coming up, that means those traps are really, really tight, and that's what you're trying to use to breathe. So the reason why we want to do this is because we need to be breathing through our diaphragm. So the ribs will slide up if we need to get air, or the diaphragm will slide out. most of the time people breathe up through here because it's stressed, it's easier. The biggest thing with breathing is when you breathe through your abdominals, when you breathe into that diaphragm, you notice that stomach extends out. People don't like their stomach extending out. You're at home. No one's judging you. Let your stomach hang. It's a good time. Before we go, put on our waist trainers and our sweet sweat. I got to throw it in there at least once a day. Good. So that ball is just behind your shoulder blade. You found a happy place. Breathe. So now as we're here, focus on that breathing. Open up those ribs. Squeeze those ribs. Open up those ribs. Squeeze those ribs. 30 more seconds. Just breathing as best you can. As you breathe, again, it should start to feel like it relaxes a little bit. That's what we want. We need that tissue to break up. We need some blood to get in there. We need some oxygen to get in there. That's the biggest part of our breathing with our stretching. It's just getting blood and oxygen to those muscles that are really tight, which will allow them to release. Go ahead, take that right arm, reach it right up to the ceiling, and then we're going to raise that hand. So remember, you're asking that really important question, and then back to the ceiling. Just try and glide there as best you can. If you notice you can only go so far and it gets stuck, go to that spot where it feels like it gets stuck. That's okay. You are allowed to have a range of motion that is not perfect because it is your range of motion. Can we make it better? Yes. Do we need to make it better right now? No. Keep going. 30 more seconds here. Five, 4, 3, 2. Take that arm. We're going to make a really big circle all the way around, all the way up. So you're making as big of a circle as you can. 30 seconds. It's going to feel kind of like driving down a bumpy road. That's okay. You may notice there's going to be certain ranges of motion that feel almost really, really good. There's going to be some ranges of motion that don't feel so good. And that's okay. Ten more seconds. Excellent. Go ahead and roll off to the side. Grab that ball. Place it underneath the left shoulder blade. Actually, between the left shoulder blade and your spine. You'll know that happy spot. There's probably a spot that you're already dreading to see that ball anywhere near. That's okay. And breathe. We're hanging out here, just breathing for a minute. Focus on getting those, well, once everyone's in position. Good. Now we're here for a minute. Focus on getting those ribs to slide around. Focus on getting those traps to relax. Try not to squeeze your shoulder blades back right now because you don't want to flex into that ball. You want to try and relax into it as much as possible. Use your diaphragm to increase the amount of pressure that goes on that ball. So as you inhale, and that diaphragm expands, it'll put more pressure up there, especially if we're trying to keep those shoulder blades down. "30 seconds down, just keep breathing. "15 seconds. Just breathing, having a good old time. Nice and relaxing. The left arm is going all the way up to the ceiling. And then you're asking that really important question as best you can. So as you flow through that movement, be aware of what feels like it's popping, grinding, cracking. If it feels like there's a whole bunch of bubble wrap behind your shoulder blade, that's fine. If it feels like there's lumps and rocks back there, that's not great, but you know, it's what we got. Keep it moving. Be aware of where that arm is going. Think about where it is in relation to where your other arm went. Is it the same? Is it different? How different is it? Is it good? Is it bad? Ten more seconds to go. Bring that hand back to the ceiling, and now we make that nice big circle. Out wide as you can. Good. Feel some snap, crackling, and popping in there. Ideally, it feels amazing. Keep going. We've got 10 more seconds. Remember, try to keep that breathing as best you can. And go ahead, roll off to the side. Place that lacrosse ball off to your side of your mat somewhere. We're going to turn on to our stomachs. Press yourself up to that good active plank position. Belly button's in your spine. Good. Hanging out here for a couple seconds. Make sure that belly button's in nice and tight. Hanging out, feeling good about life. You're going to press your hips up and back into that down dog position. Yes. Hold for 3, 2, back to plank. Press back. 3, 2, back to plank. Perfect. Press back. 3, 2, 1. Press back. 3, 2, 1. Press back. Last time. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Relax all the way down to those knees. You should have noticed there's a little bit more space in those shoulders, a little bit more movement in those shoulders. Everyone actually looked a lot better than they did yesterday, which makes that awesome. Bring your chest over top of your hands, belly button's in your spine. Step your right foot all the way to your right hand. Boom, boom, boom. Awesome. Take that right hand all the way up to the ceiling. And then we're going to take that right elbow and we're going to bring it all the way down towards the inside of your right foot. Nailed it. All the way back to the ceiling. And lower. Chris, I think you're on the wrong side there, bud. Right hand. It's okay. Trust me, at some point later on with the recording, somebody else is going to do the exact same thing. So it works out because I'll be telling them to switch it. Keep going. One more time. Lower down, reach all the way up right here. We're going to hold. Good. When we're holding, so you're all the way up, you're holding all the way up. Yeah. When you're holding here, I want you to squeeze that left oblique. Breathe into that right side of your lungs. Remember, you're not breathing up here. You're breathing in and pressing the right side of your rib cage away. We're going to hold and breathe as best you can. That left oblique should keep squeezing. That's what we want. We want the right side of your ribs to expand as much as possible. You should notice as we go, it should seem like there's a little bit more movement in there. You should be more aware of like, oh, hey, I can feel what he's talking about. And if you can't, that's okay. We'll get you there. And what'll happen is you'll feel it on one side, and then you'll be like, oh, well, that's how it should have felt on the other side. Good. Go ahead, slowly return to center. Lift your chest up so we're in that half kneeling position. Squeeze that left glute. Take your left hand, bring it to your right knee. Nailed it, nailed it, nailed it. And then turn, twist towards, I guess, me at this point because everyone's facing the same way. Yeah. And now in this position, same thing. Squeeze the left oblique. Squeeze the left oblique, left glute. Inhale into the right side. Squeeze. Inhale. So you're taking that stretch a little bit deeper each time. You're getting further back. Try and keep those shoulders away from the ears. Remember, the shoulders are not earrings. They do not look pretty. They do not have a good bag that they go with. Down here. Way down here. Good. Hold as tight as you can. Breathe. Inhale. Twist. Exhale. Squeeze that left oblique. Inhale. Get it all moving. Feeling good about life. Good. A few more seconds here. Keep breathing. Like I said, it all depends on which side you're the tightest on. Ideally, you feel it and it's nice and relaxed. You feel each inhale taking that stretch a little bit deeper. You feel each exhale just getting tighter into that hip flexor. And slowly twist back to center. Hands come back to the floor. Right foot goes back. Left foot comes forward. Perfect. You should already feel a difference. And then from here, we're going to take that left hand all the way to the ceiling. And then bring that left elbow to the inside of your left knee. Perfect. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale all the way up and hold. Sorry, I was looking at something cueing on that. Excellent. Keep holding, keep breathing. Remember, you're squeezing that right oblique this time. You're breathing into that left side of your lungs. Good. Squeeze, twist as best you can. Allow the left side of your body to stretch out. Allow the left side to open up. As you inhale, you should almost feel like those fingertips are reaching a little bit further. You should feel like that side of your ribs just opening up, making space. Yes, your ribs can't really open. You'd be breaking a bone, and that'd be horrible, but you know what I mean. Good. Exhale, lower all the way down. Lift that chest up, so we're in that half kneeling position. Right hand comes to your left knee. Twist away. Actually, everyone gets to twist towards the window because they've all got windows right there. And inhale into the right side of your oblique, left side of your obliques. Exhale, squeeze deeper. Inhale. Exhale, good. Good squeeze. Get that movement in there. Focus on that breathing. Good. Everyone's doing a good job keeping the shoulder from going up, which is good. That's exactly what we want. Keep that right glute as tight as you can. Keep that hip flexor stretching. Don't allow it to relax. Just like everything else, we're here to get stuff moving. Even though we're not doing a ton of movement, we want to keep everything as contracted as we can. Get the right things to release, get the right things to contract. We're just bringing more consciousness into our movements. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And slowly return to center. Bring both hands down to your mat. Step that left leg back. Press yourself up to your good active plank one more time. And we're going back up to that down dog position. Yes, for 3, 2, 1. Oh my God, you guys look awesome. And press back up. That should feel a ton better too. And down. Press back up. 3, 2, 1. And back. Press up. 3, 2, 1. And down. Press up. 3, 2, 1. And down. Last one. Press up. Big hold here, 30 seconds. So even though we didn't do anything to loosen up your hamstrings, every one of your shoulders in a better position. It looks like your spines are in better positions. Those hamstrings should actually feel like they're looser. You all are in amazing positions compared to where you were the last time you were here, which makes me really, really happy. May not feel great, but you guys are looking great. Keep it nice and tight. And lower all the way down to your chest. Yes. We're going to take that left arm out nice and long. You're going to take your right out to the side, though, so think about reaching out to a T, a half T. Sharon. Oh, are you backwards? Yeah, left arm, half T. Oh, okay. There we go. And then we're going to take that right leg up and then kick all the way over. We're going into our scorpion stretch. Don't whack your neighbor. Yes. Okay. So the breathing here. As you inhale, try and open up that right side of your body. Get that going. Exhale, squeeze that left oblique. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze. Good. 60 seconds here. Should feel the hip flexor. Should feel that right side of your oblique stretching out. Should feel your right side of your ribs stretching out. Really focus on your breathing. We're here. It's going to be uncomfortable in certain spots. That's okay. I get you guys as loose as possible. Like I said, it's all ribs, all thoracic cavity. Everything from your ribs to your shoulders. Technically hips to your shoulders, but whatever. We're not judging. 20 seconds to go. Last 10 seconds, keep breathing. And slowly return all the way to sit. Right arm comes out to that half T position. Belly button's in your spine. Kick that left leg all the way up and over. Yes. I know you guys are tired of hearing me saying it, but one side's always tighter, one side's always looser. Squeeze that right oblique. Inhale into the left side of your body. Try and get it to relax as much as you can. You may feel the right side of your chest stretching out. You should feel the left side of your body stretching out as well. With all these stretches, there's no right spot to feel it. You're just going to feel it in the tightest spot. That's one thing that we get very used to in life. There's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. When it comes to stretching and mobility, there's a right way for your body and a way that also works for your body just differently than everyone else's. So as long as those joints aren't compromised, but you feel it stretching and moving, it's all that matters. If you're noticing your fingertips on the right side are going numb, that means your chest is really, 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 really tight. We don't want that at all. We got to work on stretching out that chest a little bit more. Go ahead, relax, return to center nice and slow. I'm going to take your forearm, your forearm or your hand. You're going to place it on your forehead on your right side. Left arm is going to come to basically a goalpost position on the floor. So I'm laying flat, that's kind of where we are. Now from here, keeping the elbow down, you're going to try and externally rotate the fingertips to the ceiling and then down. So externally rotate and down. Not a huge movement. We're going 30 seconds here. You're not focusing on the breathing or anything. You're just focusing on getting your wrist to lift off the floor, your elbow to stay where it is. Good. So try not to lead with the fingers because the height isn't important. So try and let the hand relax as much as possible so that as you lift, it's all shoulder. Because a lot of times as we lift, we think about trying to flex it up and back, and that will get you more range, but I want it to be more of a passive range. It's very subtle. And relax. Now we're going to add the breathing to it. So as you lift, I want you to think about lifting, getting those ribs to expand, not up. Expand out. Exhale, lower down. Inhale up. Exhale down. 30 seconds. As you breathe, you notice those hands start to slide a little bit higher each time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. All on that left side, just left side. Said if we're in this position and the hand that's not moving is going numb, it's a sign that chest is really, 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 really tight. Good. And release. Slide that left hand underneath your forehead. First movement is just lift and lower. Lift and lower. Don't worry about the breathing right now. Just worry about getting that shoulder to externally rotate as much as possible. Opening up the chest, opening up the shoulder joint, maybe opening up the bicep, depending on how tight it is. Usually when everyone's right side is a little bit looser, just because that's their dominant side. If you throw things, that side is naturally more open. I'm not assuming you're throwing things in your house, but if you have dogs and you've ever thrown a ball, that's why we'd be throwing things. If you are throwing things around your house, that's also fine. That's up to you. I'm not here to pass judgment. And now we add our breathing to it. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So as you inhale, try and get that up a little bit higher. Really focus on getting those ribs to expand, shoulders slide down your back. 15 seconds. Keep breathing. Get it all to move. Excellent. Go ahead. Return to center. Take those hands. Bring them behind your head. Forehead's resting on the ground. If you need to, if you feel kind of claustrophobic, grab a towel or a pillow or something, put it underneath your head so you have a little bit of lift. If not, we're going to take those elbows. We're going to inhale, squeeze those shoulder blades back as best you can. Squeeze both elbows back and together. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. As you're in this position, one thing I forgot to mention is pull that pelvic bone down towards the floor. Pull your ribs in just a little bit, not holding them super tight because we still want them to slide. So belly button's in, pelvis is touching the floor. Inhale, open. Exhale, release. Open. Exhale, release. Good. Inhale. Try not to lift so much so the forehead's going to stay down, but the elbows want to sweep out. So think about kind of like almost like if they were wings, they're just flapping forward and back. Yeah. Just make sure on the back of your head, you're not digging your forehead into the floor. Nobody likes that. That's not a good time. Inhale. Yes. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. On this inhale, you actually are going to lift the forehead off the floor. So inhale, lift everything up. You're looking in front of you. You're looking at your couch, looking at your wall, whatever it is. You're going to unlace the fingers, bring them all the way around behind your back. Bring those hands together over top of your butt and press away for 3, 2, 1. Bring them back behind your head. Don't lower your chest down. And then reach all the way back behind your butt. 1, 2, 3, back to the head. Back behind your butt. 1, 2, 3, back behind your head. Back behind your butt. For 1, 2, 3. Last time behind the head. Last time down to your butt. We're going to hold here. Lace those fingers together if you can. Squeeze as tight as you can. We're going to add our breathing. So inhale, make those ribs expand. Exhale, squeeze the ribs together. Inhale, get the expansion of those ribs. Exhale, squeeze. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, release. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders as if you're going to do a push-up. You're going to pressure yourself up to that good active rest position. So we're going into child's pose. Just hanging out. Good. Just let that deep low back decompress after all that flexion. Having a good old time here. Said if anything, it'll be the length of your spine, the space behind your shoulder blades, and your ribs will be a little bit sore. I don't think you guys will. Theoretically, you guys should not have been tight enough where that'll be a problem, but we'll find out. We'll know tomorrow. I'll get some hate mail later today. Take that right hand, slide it all the way over to the left side of your mat. Perfect. We're going to add that breathing in. So squeeze that left oblique. Inhale into the right side of your lungs, right lat, right oblique open up. Exhale, squeeze that left oblique. Inhale into the right. Exhale, 30 seconds here. Just breathing, just moving a little bit. Seeing how those ribs slide, seeing how everything moves around. Almost there. 5 more seconds. Slide that right hand all the way back to the right. Left hand goes all the way to the left. And then we're going to fill that left side of your lungs with air. Exhale, squeeze that right oblique. Inhale and exhale. Very nice. Inhale. Exhale, 30 seconds. That movement in there. Fifteen more seconds. Breathe as best you can. Nice deep inhales. Nice deep exhales. With all the extra breathing, if you do feel like you're getting a little bit lightheaded, that is normal. You're getting a lot more oxygen in your system than you normally do. In your lungs, the top of the lungs, there's usually a little bit of air that's stagnant there that hangs out there. Go ahead, slide that hand back to center. Perfect. We're going to press ourselves over our hands. Return back. Well, actually, turn to a seated position. So you're going to be on your butt. Legs are out straight. Perfect. I'll finish that thought in a second. I didn't lose my place yet. I will probably in a minute, though. Arms come out to that T. Legs are out nice and straight. Belly button's in your spine. Out wide. Out to a T. There you go. Nailed it. Legs. It's okay. Like I said, this comes in handy because somebody later on will do the exact same thing. Hips are out as wide as your heels. Hips. Heels are out as wide as your hips. Try that again. There we go. Flex those toes back towards you. I've lost myself. I'm done. Arms around that seat. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, your right pinky finger is going to come all the way across to your left pinky toe. Inhale to center. Exhale. Move through here as slow and smooth. We're not going for speed. It's 30 seconds. Just really feel the fact that your twist is a little bit better than the last time we were here. What I was saying is as your lungs fill, if you guys have ever seen pictures of lungs, there's a little lobe at the top. And normally if you're not fully exhaling and inhaling, air gets stuck up here and air doesn't really leave. It cycles through. But when we actually get a ton of fresh air in there, that means all the air that your body is getting circulating is highly oxygenated, which is why we feel a little bit different. Feel lightheaded, feel a little bit woozy because you're getting the amount of oxygen you should be getting into your system And inhale, return to center. Exhale, we're going to round all the way forward, reach out towards those toes. Nice forward fold. Sit right there. Good. You should notice you have a better stretch here than last time. You should notice there's a little bit more room. Or you're just hanging out there. You're hanging out. What I want you to do in this position, exhale, squeeze those ribs to your pelvic bone. Inhale, try and hold that squeeze so that the low back starts to stretch. So inhale here, exhale, squeeze tighter. Inhale, exhale, squeeze tighter. Good. That's the secret behind why Pilates and yoga make everyone feel so much better when they're done, because we do focus so much on breathing. But this kind of breathing needs to be done throughout the day so that you feel more alert, you feel more aware all day. It keeps your body relaxed. Shallow breathing, it makes your body feel more stressed, more anxious. We're actually programmed to notice a CO2 buildup in our system that forces us to breathe faster. We don't notice how much oxygen we have in our system. So if you think about it, you're programmed to freak out when you run out of air, but you are not programmed to breathe. I know, it's crazy. Inhale, grow nice and tall. Roll all the way to your back. Arms gonna come out to a T just for support. Actually, no, I lied. Bring your hands right behind your head. We're gonna do one more thing before we go into that hip stretch. Hands are going back behind your head. Belly button's in, squeeze those shoulder blades down. We're going back to our dead bug position. So pull those heels back to the ceiling. Keep those abdominals in nice and tight. You should notice a difference, and I wish I was recording you guys at home. You actually could see there's a massive difference in where your bodies are falling right now. You can probably feel a difference through your ribs, a difference through your low back, a difference through those hamstrings. Your abdominals probably feel like they're in a different spot, and they are. You guys are actually in a much better position. So go ahead and lower those legs all the way down. Now bring your arms to a T. Relax your legs. They're all the way down. They're relaxing. You're relaxed. There you go. Arms are out in a T now. Take your right leg straight up to the ceiling. And then kick that right leg all the way to the left side. Let that hip open up. Let it fall as far as your body will allow. Yes. So with this stretch, we didn't do this at all today, so you don't really know. If you can, straighten that leg more, Chris. Straighten it. Your right leg. Yeah, there we go. Good. Let it hang. Yeah, it's like gravity. So right now, gravity is just taking you. We're going to add our breathing in here in a second. So now I want you to squeeze that left oblique. Open up the right side of your ribs. Squeeze the left oblique. Open the right side of your ribs. Good. So we haven't done this stretch today, but if you think about when you were here last week and the week before that, when we got to this stretch, how did it feel? Does this feel better? It should feel better. You guys are actually in better positions than where we were last week. And all we did, again, same thing. We didn't focus a lot on stretching out your hamstrings, a lot of stretching out your hips. All we did was your ribs, your diaphragm, your shoulders. Everything is connected. So when we choose not to stretch one thing, or we know like, hey, that thing's really tight, I'm not going to stretch it, everything actually seizes up because of that. Or if we're just not stretching. And stretching doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be this, doesn't have to be an hour. If you do 5 minutes of stretching every day for the muscles that you know are tight, then everything will get looser. Because the tighter you are, the more your body wants to stay contracted. If you release something that you know is the tightest part of your body, the whole system itself will actually start to release. And that's the most important part of stretching. So it doesn't have to be fancy. It could be 30 seconds in a door frame 3 times a day. It could be an hour of stretching. That's okay. I mean, clearly. And slowly lift that right leg back to the ceiling. Yes, lower the right leg down. Lift that left leg straight to the ceiling. And drop that left leg to the right side of your body. Let it hang out for a second. No breathing yet. First 30 seconds is just you hanging out, enjoying your ceiling, admiring the ceiling. It's a nice ceiling. So you find a stretch that you absolutely love and you just do it. Your whole body will relax. Your whole system will thank you. Inhale into the right side, left side of your lungs. Exhale, squeeze that right oblique. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale left. Exhale right. Good. Keep breathing. Keep stretching. It's the best part about this whole thing. You get to get nice and loose, nice and relaxed. Then I send you out into the world to do real world things, and good luck. I know. And slowly bring that left leg back to the ceiling. Roll all the way back up to that seated position. And that's it. You guys are done. You made it. So like I said, it was relatively easy. Everything, most of it was mental. Most of it was thinking about how your ribs are supposed to be moving, how your abs are supposed to be engaged, how to get your obliques to engage and fire. It's all stuff we don't think about. It's all stuff we're not taught. It's all things that we take for granted because your body gets used to just moving a certain way. And when it moves that way, it'll always move that way, which is good when you're learning an automatic thing like throwing or running or kicking or breathing. But when we have to retrain it, it's a pain in the butt because we have to fix all the years of bad habits. And all that bad habit is ingrained in your muscle. So if you're not breathing through here, and you're always breathing through here, we've been doing that for years. This is new. Well, I mean, this should not be new, but this is what we're used to. So since this is new, it's going to take a while for you to get these ribs to fire and these shoulders to stay down. But we'll get you there, and it's just conscious effort over time, same as anything else.
Awesome.
So I will see you guys next week. Next week, you guys are already home, but I would have a pillow because you're going to do some stuff kneeling against the couch. So you're going to want a pillow, at least something thick that you can put a knee on, and you don't mind hanging out there for a little bit. I know, everyone's excited now. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.